Tonight, our special transmission as a historic move by three European nations to officially recognize Palestine as a state. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 230th day since the onset of Israel's war. The Israeli military has intensified its offensive across multiple areas in Gaza. It has targeted Zaweda in a large-scale attack. At least 10 civilians have died, including a pregnant woman. The town is 3 kilometers away from Deir al-Balah city. The Jabalia refugee camp has also been under severe attack. Multiple reports say around 300 homes have been destroyed in the camp. At least 6 Palestinians have been killed. Emergency teams say they are facing immense challenges retrieving victims from the rubble. In Rafah, the Israeli army has started heavily bombing residential zones. Eyewitnesses say Israeli forces have moved into the Philadelphia corridor, reaching the western part of the Yibna refugee camp. The Philadelphia corridor is adjacent to the Egyptian border and spans over 14 kilometers. It is a critical area under the Israeli-Egyptian Peace Treaty of 1979. The Israeli army now controls over half of this corridor. Israel started its ground offensive in Rafah on May 6th. Since the start of the Israeli offensive in Rafah, 1.5 million Palestinians have been displaced. Israeli Defense Minister Gallant has announced plans to enact a law allowing evicted Israeli settlers to return to the occupied West Bank. These settlers were evicted during the 2005 disengagement plan. All settlements in the occupied West Bank are illegal under international law. The death toll from Israel's war is staggering. At the time of writing, at least 35,647 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli forces. A revised report by the United Nations estimates another 10,000 civilians are buried under the rubble. 79,852 have been injured. Israel's death toll from Hamas's attack stands at 1,139. South Africa has voiced support for the International Criminal Court's move to pursue arrest warrants against Israeli and Hamas leaders. President Cyril Ramaphosa's office has praised the decision. The office says it is very important to apply the law equally to uphold international justice. Prosecutor Karim Khan's announcement to seek warrants has drawn mixed reactions from Palestinians and Israelis. Palestinians have questioned the court's equivalence of the occupied and the occupier. They are defending the right to resist occupation. On the other hand, Netanyahu condemns the move as scandalous. He vows to continue the offensive with full force. France is supporting the World Court's prosecutor for requesting arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders. In a statement, the French Foreign Ministry says its government supports the International Criminal Court and its fight against impunity in all situations. The French Foreign Minister told the National Assembly yesterday that Israel must respect international law during the war, which it did not start. Experts say if the warrants are issued, members of the World Court could be put in a diplomatically difficult position. Nearly all countries of the European Union are members of the International Criminal Court. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the government is collaborating with Congress in crafting a response to the International Criminal Court's move. Blinken has not specified details. Blinken condemns the prosecutor's decision to pursue arrest warrants. He calls the move profoundly wrong-headed. Washington says the World Court does not have jurisdiction over the Gaza conflict. Republican lawmakers have threatened to sanction the World Court. However, any action in this regard would require support from President Biden and Senate Democrats. Previously, the Trump administration targeted the World Court for investigating war crimes in Afghanistan. Norway, Ireland, and Spain say they will officially recognize Palestine as a state on May 28th. This historic move comes amidst ongoing Israeli aggression and global calls for a two-state solution. Norway's Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre says a Palestinian state is the only political solution to the conflict in the region. Ireland's Prime Minister Simon says he is confident that other nations will follow suit. The Irish Foreign Minister says his country will support equal rights and self-determination for both Palestinians and Israelis. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Sanchez says Netanyahu's policies are jeopardizing the two-state solution. The Israeli Foreign Minister has strongly opposed the move. He has recalled ambassadors from all three countries. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich says Israel will cease tax fund transfers to the Palestinian Authority. Hamas official Bassem Naim attributes the decision to the steadfast resistance of the Palestinian people. Jordan's foreign minister has praised the coordinated recognitions as a crucial step towards achieving Palestinian statehood. The European Union as a whole has yet to officially recognize Palestine. With the recent development, 143 out of 193 UN member states recognize Palestine as a state. A TikTok campaign is gaining traction to raise funds and awareness for Palestinian families affected by the conflict in Gaza. The campaign has been initiated by US-based comedian Aaron Hadimer. It is titled Pass the Hat. First, content creators pair up with families in need. Then they solicit donations through platforms like GoFundMe. Social media influencers and celebrities are joining the trend. Author John Green is also supporting the cause. The news comes as activists are blocking famous celebrities on social media platforms for not supporting the Palestinian cause. A report by US-based news website says two top Biden administration officials were holding indirect talks with Iranian officials in Oman. Axios reports the talks centered around the regional conflict and Iran's nuclear deal. The report says the sudden demise of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and his foreign minister have halted these talks. Brett McGurk, National Security Council coordinator for the Middle East and North Africa, and Iran's acting foreign minister Ali Bagheri Khani were facilitating the talks. First round of talks occurred recently in Muscat. Raisi's death and the upcoming Iranian presidential election has cast uncertainty on when the talks can be resumed. President Biden has expressed reluctance to negotiate until after the US election. More than 1,400 Israeli academics are urging their government to halt the ongoing war in Gaza and secure the swift release of prisoners. In a petition, they have acknowledged Israel's right to self-defense. The academics say, now that the initial purpose has been fulfilled, continuing the war risks civilian lives and infrastructure. They say Israel's war is having a severe toll on both Israeli and Palestinian civilians. They say it is causing economic damage and international repercussions. The petition urges the government to prioritize the safe return of prisoners. They are warning that prolonged war will be detrimental to Israel's long-term stability and international reputation. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.